All right, welcome. So this is episode 2 of SuperMetaPodcast, where we discuss the final episode, the series finale of Game of Thrones. Some would say it's been a shit show.
Some,
Some
for
some would
sure.
say it's been a shit show. There's not a vocal minority, a small minority that said it's okay. You know,
Yeah, I want to
I
meet
I,
those guys.
I haven't found anybody who was like it's been positive the whole time, dude. So just like how everybody thinks the Star Wars series was ruined by Episode 8. We're in Season 8 of Game of Thrones, dude. The number 8 is just associated with bad luck.
Yeah,
So
dude, no more eights.
going forward, if we have some really amazing, series, do not end on Episode 8 or on Season 8 or anything related to the number 8.
Yeah,
Right?
it's like
That's
Valve and the number three. You just
yeah,
movies, no eights.
yeah, exactly. Fuck that shit. All right. Anyways, I'm Gianna, your host, alongside.
Craig.
Hey, it's Craig. All right. So let's start. We know this is a meta podcast, but let's start with our general uh, thoughts on the season.
Oh
You
yes,
want to start?
you know what? I was gonna say I can't wait to hear yours, but yes, I will definitely go first
All
because
right, go ahead.
what a fucking episode! Like what? I mean, if you go back and you listen towards the end of our last podcast, we talked about what we thought was going to happen, and I feel like I get to show off a little bit here. I kind of called it. I can't say it was 100%, but I said that the thing I thought was going to happen was that it was going to be this campy vibe with the Starks being a family, and it's all about them, and that kind of is how it ended. It kind of followed through every one of the Starks and where they were going.
it,
Uh,
it was it was campy up until Bran was like, what do you think I came here for? I was like,
yeah.
holy shit, dude, this guy fucking gaslit the whole series.
Yep. And
uh,
then and then I said what I hoped would happen was, it didn't happen, which was like he was fucking with shit in the past and they would explain some stuff, but that didn't happen. So, yeah, and if you guys remember, I said what I thought was going to happen was the campy vibe, and you remember Gianna said that I couldn't think of a worst possible ending. and
no,
do
yeah, I was, when it got to like the whole table with like Sam being the headmaester, despite not even completing his training. Like
Yep.
he didn't even complete his training as a maester, right? And he's like a headmaester. That's like it's like you going over to a doctor and then being like, "Yeah, I was in med school for about a year, and then I quit, and I'm your doctor now." I just
Yeah,
thought,
dude.
holy fuck! And he's like, "Yeah, I'm the head doctor of like the Red Cross or like Children's Memorial Hospital or something." If that's what that was, I was like, holy shit! And then Braun coming in and being like, let's upgrade the brothels. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, they
Oh,
just tried for a last little
yeah,
stab of like funny, and it was just like,
yeah,
ugh, no,
exactly.
why?
You wheelchair Braun or not Braun, Brandon, and they're like, all right, here's all the things going on. He's like, yeah, that sounds good. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go find this dragon.
Then how about they only have this finite amount of time because they decided to reduce this season, and they were
Right.
like, let's show like 5 minutes of Tyrion straightening up chairs. That'll be what they want to see.
Oh yeah. It's like
What?
that really did bring in like, oh man, it like took away so much gravity from the situation. I don't know if they wanted to end on gravity, like this being a serious deal, but man,
Yeah,
it felt so unnecessary. I
I felt
mean,
I felt like the whole damn episode was unnecessary.
man,
I
I
mean,
mean,
Jesus.
if they had to end it somehow, and this is how they did it, and I think this is the real ending, except for like all the campy shit. Like I
Yeah,
don't
for
think
sure.
George R. R. Martin's gonna write that in there, but if he ever finishes the books, which Outlook says no, but I think this is like the Mad Queen Daenerys, John killing Danny, maybe him being exiled to the north for another reason. Uh, it seems like that might be the actual ending, and
And I'll be honest with you. At first, he kills Danny, and
yeah,
then it like jumps forward, and it's like, oh, he's been locked up, and Tyrion was already locked up, and you're like, okay, well, fuck. Now it's like serious, like what's gonna happen to John? And then you see this for some reason, this smorgasbord of people who are representing the kingdoms all of a sudden together, and they're just like, all these people and all these armies are just like, yeah, I guess the fucking Unsullied are just gonna bully us and fucking dictate what we do with John.
That
The
that that would have been
fucking
a fucking great ending though. If you just see a bunch of Unsullied and they're just like killing like.
I just thought it was wild. They were just like, yeah, we can't fuck with these Unsullied for some reason, so like I guess we'll sit here and be diplomatic about releasing fucking Jon Snow. Like, I don't know. And then they were just like, then they just like all of a sudden were like, yeah, just send him to the wall. And I was like, are
Yeah.
you fucking
Just
kidding
it's a
me?
compromise, and then the Unsullied's like, all right, you send him to the wall. All right, we're leaving for good.
Yeah,
Peace.
dude, like we're gone. So like he better stay up there. Like Pinky promised that shit.
Yeah.
What
Okay,
a
all right.
oh, dude! I was so mad at first. I was so fucking mad they were gonna do that to Jon Snow after his story arc. But then I realized I calmed down after the show. The next day, I was thinking back on it. I was reading different comments about it, people's different opinions on it, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. That's where Jon belongs. You know, he had that quick conversation with Tormund about he's like, hey, let's
Yeah.
just go north. The real north is where you belong. And then like that's where
Yeah,
he's at
dude.
now, and like I'm okay with it now. I was a little
Dude,
pissed.
the man never forgets where he got his first lay. You know, up in the
Mhm.
real north, dude.
Head
Dude,
back to
that's
that
what
cave
that's what that callback that episode 2 when he was like flying up to like the
for
ice
sure.
cave or whatever. I
Yep.
was like, yeah, dude. This is a callback to when you got first got laid, man.
Yeah, it's like you remember that shit.
Yeah. That's the story that we'll never really forget. Yeah. That's the ending that
Oh yeah,
we
dude.
got.
So yeah, so that yeah, I felt a little bit better about it. And you know, he was with Ghost, Torment, you know, people
Yeah,
in the
dude, the
north.
ghost thing is like you know, it's like Dan and David just like, you know what, we fucked this up.
Yeah,
Let's just put a ghost right in there, dude. Like
yeah,
Jon
dude.
Snow comes back and he's like greeting everybody, and we just CGI in a scene.
Hell
Completely
yeah.
CGI.
Let him touch that pup. Everybody wants to see
Yeah,
him touch Ghost.
yeah, exactly. I mean, all right. So overall, I'd say, you know, it could have been better, but I don't think the last episode by itself was the reason why the season was kind of downhill. You know, it's everything culminating to it, and as you see on, you know, Reddit and YouTube, right? People are just going to be down on this episode no matter what.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there was
Even-
nothing that could happen. We talked about it.
Yeah.
Pretty much
So
very little chances they were gonna fix this shit. Fucking
Oh, yeah.
Doctor Strange numbers. You know what I'm saying? It was one
yeah,
chance in a fucking
for
million.
for sure. So yeah. So speaking of like people being so down on it, right? Like there was a guy on YouTube. I don't want to recall him because he had a weird YouTube channel name, but he had quite a lot of views, and he did a full season 8 rewrite, right? And his a few of his talking points were like that Jamie's character was assassinated, which fair enough, you could say that, and then like the show ends stupidly, right? And so he writes the most like shitty like anime storyline. It was like he was like, all right, Daenerys, like they don't beat the Night King like in the Long Night, okay? And then it's just like she's like so traumatized that she like bends the knee to Cersei. I was like, okay, so you complain about character
Whoa.
assassination, but you want the person who's been fighting for the throne for fucking 8 seasons now to
Jesus.
just bend the knee to Cersei to protect like the Unsullied and the Dothraki. I was like, dude, these Unsullied and Dothraki are willing to die. Like,
Yeah, that is definitely worse than anything.
yeah,
D&D
and
had
then he was like Jon Snow, or like he's like Dany's also pregnant with Jon's child, and therefore that's why she wants to do it. I was like, dude, you're fucking like way too into your own hentai shit. Like you're fucking full of fantasies at this point, dude. Like I bet this dude is just masturbating in his chair, thinking like he got her pregnant, and was like, yeah, I need this fantasy to come true for me. 'Cause that'd be amazing.
I'm
dude.
Jon Snow, dude. I'm the bastard.
Yeah. He wants
the-
to be the Jon Snow, dude. He's like, Jon Snow beats the Night King, and my name's Jon, and I legally changed my last name to Snow,
Hell yeah.
and I need all this shit to happen. And I just like it's like he spent like maybe like an hour just to goes to show how far people go, right?
hmm
He hated the series so much. They spent like an hour explaining like the details of his rewrites, right? And then you look at the comments of this like shit that like if the season actually went the way he wrote it, like it would be worse, right? It would just be like a 0 on IMDb, right? Like if you could put negative numbers on rating, right? That's how much this like fantasy hentai shit would be on, like, you know, would be rated on there, right? Like it would be like a -5. This guy's shit was like so self-absorbed in that, and it was like overwhelmingly positive comments about like, dude, This rewrite is insanely logical. This rewrite is incredible. Like this is what should have happened. That man, that fucking blows your mind, right? That's fucking whack. That like internet culture can turn people into like hentai loving like fantasy morons, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's that shit that holy shit, dude. I hope to God that the next big series in the future we land it so we don't have to hear this crazy shit come out of people's mouths, you know?
What is that gonna be? Do you think that show is currently airing now, or do you think it's something we haven't seen yet?
I don't think it's airing now. I mean, I would have said Westworld, but I think given how Westworld, like season 2 of Westworld, is just basically like they tried to keep everything contained within a single episode of season 2 of Westworld. You know, like because they don't want fans going like super deep down that rabbit hole, like they did in season 1, where they predicted like the big twist on like episode 2.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like I remember, but like that was cool because like Reddit like found that out early, and like the whole season, like when you think that's one of the possibilities, you're looking for it, right? You're looking for it for a long time until you find it. In season 2, they were like, we don't want that, so we're just gonna like wrap everything up in individual episodes, which is fine. But I think the next big show that comes out was probably some adaptation from a book because you know the book material is more it's deeper, right? And you flesh out all the elements.
Yep.
Ideally, the book's been is close to finishing by the fuck, that's what Game of Thrones was though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
I mean,
fuck.
by all points, he should have finished the wins.
Yeah. The next siege is probably something that Disney takes on.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. There are some critically acclaimed shows right now, but as far as like culturally invasive, I don't think there's anything. Like Barry's pretty big right now. Apparently, this new show just aired on HBO called Chernobyl, which I haven't watched it yet, and I do plan on watching it soon. But I've heard it's. I mean, it's breaking their records for HBO shows. Like it's got like a 9.5 or 9.7 or something like that. It's like
does it air right after Game of Thrones? Is it the thing that people turn to after they get thoroughly disappointed by like what they're seeing?
I honestly don't know what its airtime was, but it's doing. That's pretty much. It's done really well, and I'm excited to check it out. So that's something, but I don't know how far you can go with something like Chernobyl, you know, because it's a one event. But if you're saying like Westworld, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're gonna be able to how much they can follow through with that as well, because they've left the West, but you're still Westworld, but it's no longer the. I don't know. We'll see about that.
It'll probably get pretty good, and then it'll get bad, just like most things that don't have a book, like a
to
book
read off of,
to
just like
go
no,
off of. Yeah, because at that point the writers just start making shit up that makes no sense.
Yeah,
try to circle back. Yeah. All right, so that's one. All right, here's a question I got for you. What do you think of the name Brand the Broken?
Brand the Broken.
Right. Is it better? Is there a better name for this guy than Brand the Broken?
Definitely, and it's the paraplegic that was promised.
Oh man.
That's it.
Yeah. So like, have you seen any of the like social justice commentary about how like Brand the Broken is, unequal or like, I guess it's like demeaning towards crippled people or whatever message that social justice warriors like to spread these days.
I haven't myself, but that's just because I try to avoid it. Because I mean, it just makes sense that would happen whenever you have some kind of minority that's being shown in some kind of way that they may take it, to an extreme.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a guy named Ricky Berwick on YouTube and I think on Twitter, and he's a paraplegic, right? So he's got pretty severe. Is it cerebral palsy? It's one of the conditions where he's not very. He's definitely not like a full bodied normal person, right? Mm-hmm. And he comes in, and like there's this like social justice warrior, woman, man, whatever gender they want to be, and this dude just roasts her like nonstop. Like he just starts like basically like screaming at I mean he's normally a comedian, so he's doing this out of comedic effect, dude. Uh-huh. But he was like crawling on the ground. He's just like, we don't need your help. We don't need your representation. And he's like,
oh man.
I was like, holy shit. Oh man. But I think, when you think about whatever social justice is, is defined as these days, which is pretty different from what it was before. I think the future is just like it's just going to be incredibly sensitive to these sorts of things.
Mm.
If you like, if Brand was a normal fucking kid and you called him like Brand the Broken, like not a paraplegic, right? What would people think?
I don't know, man. I think it all stems from like, if anybody's gonna be upset about the situation of his name being Brand the Broken, it should be the fact that they gave him such a dumb fucking name. What has Brand said for seasons now? He's like, I'm no longer Brand. He's like, I'm the Three-Eyed Raven.
Yeah,
A
dude,
fucking nickname doesn't get any better than the Three-Eyed Raven, and they're just like, yeah, Brand the Broken. That's fine. Yeah.
Brand the Broken, dude.
Stories.
He's got the best
Stories.
story.
Stories.
He's got the best story. He's definitely got the best story of them all. Not Sansa, who had to like actually like
Jesus.
learn how to manipulate people or like play the Game of Thrones, like overcome a bunch of dudes who were trying to like get with her, molest her, that sort of thing. Not Arya, who had to go like way the fuck, like bumfuck middle of nowhere, train, get blind, fight off people, like take people's fucking faces. No, it's this guy who got sled around by like Hodor for like 7 seasons. They're like, you got the best story of
best
us
stories,
all.
dude. You've just been in the north in the snow.
Yeah, you got the best story of us all. You saw my sister fucking my brother.
And even when he said that, I let out like the most audible sigh. Like my wife was beside me, and she like looked over at me, and I was like, "I'm sorry." And we went back to watching, and I was like, even if you were gonna go that route, he doesn't even have the best fucking story, dude. It's Jon Snow. Like no one's narrative is anywhere near as fucking broad and as impressive as Jon Snow's. Yeah. Like,
I mean,
he died.
I can't imagine the show writers, like, so like how the season, the memes, like Tyrion's pretty smart, but he's actually like dumb this season. Like they dumbed him down.
Yeah, they were just like, yeah.
I just want to see like Tyrion get dumbed down to the point where like right in front of like like Grey Worm and stuff, he's like, we got to give it to the guy with the best story. Jon Snow, dude. Jon fucking Snow.
Jon Snow.
Oh man, that would have been so good. That would have been a better ending though.
That's what I thought. That's where I thought he was going with it. It was just gonna be like, yeah, it's Jon Snow, so get him the fuck out of that prison cell, like now.
It's Jon Snow, give it to him, dude. Everybody knows the story, dude. All those like charred up, like 17th degree burn, like victims and whatever else. They know, dude. They know it's Jon Snow, dude. That woman that he prevented from getting molested by the Northmen. They know, man. They know, man. It's Jon Snow.
Dude,
holy shit, man.
That scene. I was like, dude, I like Tyrion was my favorite character from season 1 forward. Like as far as just a character, he was my favorite, absolutely favorite one through season 7, and then his season 8 character, I was like, why? Why did they? What? And so like just to see that scene, it culminated the entire warping of his character for me, and just how fucking dumb he is. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a meme that lives on for a little while. It's like he's got the stories, man.
Got them stories.
Got the stories, dude. So for next week and anything else we do, dude, we're referencing back to this. Right?
Yes, we're
talking about the guy who's got the greatest stories, dude.
Yes, every time we're talking about someone in a very positive way, we're like, this guy right here, he's got the stories.
It's like when you say you're in something for the plot, or she has a great personality. Yeah, we're in it.
We're in.
All right. So let's talk about the actors who I think did pretty damn good this season for what they were given.
I agree.
I think, admittedly, a lot of people will say it's garbage. I'll say it's just slightly above garbage. It's table scraps. It's like the fortune cookies that they give you at Chinese restaurants at the end. It's not the main course. You open it and you're like, there's like occasionally you get like a little surprise. You're just like, it's like, oh, you will have like a lot of friends this year. And you're like, not bad. That's what this was, right? If you want to look at a glass half full, dude, it's like a half open fortune cookie and there's a little fortune sticking out. And you read it and you're like, all right, not bad. And that's the acting, So let's talk about the actors. Let's talk about Emilia.
Dude, Emilia Clarke. I think she transformed into a very, very, very good actor throughout this experience. And I think from her coming from like little to nothing as far as like what she had done before and being so young, that this role really transformed her into feeling like a powerful female. Because everyone knows, mostly, like, the big fans know that she had 2 brain hemorrhages. The first one
Yeah.
happened after season 1, and that kind of, that can affect someone's psyche. And like
You
for
know what I'm
her to feel
genuinely surprised by?
powerful, yeah,
That she didn't have a brain hemorrhage after watching the finals, dude.
dude, she probably didn't. Like,
She probably did, yeah.
she just like was like, I can't even watch it because I can't even imagine how she felt when she, like, because
Yeah,
she didn't even know that this big turn was coming at all until she read
right.
her script, and she was just like, oh, I'm gonna fucking murder everyone after almost a decade of being this like strong female character who's about ending slavery and freeing people, and I'm a murderer. Like, what do I stand for? And for
Yeah,
her, she got seriously conflicted in this role. Like,
yeah, no,
there's that.
it was emotionally fucking her up, right? Like,
Yeah, there is even like, if there's like a famous clip, if you watch any YouTube video about Game of Thrones, and like it's memeing on them about the actors being like, ooh, like, I don't know about the show. Like, there's a
yeah.
scene where like there's this lady on the red carpet or whatever, like, something like that, and she's like, so guys, how did you feel about the end of the
Oh
show for
yeah,
your
yeah,
character?
yeah,
And
yeah,
Emilia's
yeah.
like, and I'm like, oh man, dude,
Yeah, it's just I
it's
feel
the
like
best ever.
yeah, best season ever. Yeah, those are great because rewatch them now retrospectively, like hearing people talk about the show, and you're just like, holy shit,
Yeah.
these guys weren't just trying to hide something; they were actually like genuinely disappointed
I
by the
wonder
outcome. I think.
I wonder how, like, if it was how funny Jon Snow, like, Kit Harington was trying to be when he had the interview, and the lady was like, "So how would you describe the final season?"
Oh yeah, in one word,
In one
just
word,
disappointing.
disappointing. And like, obviously he like laughs and he's like, "I'm kidding" or whatever, but like, was you really kidding, Kit? Like,
I don't know. I mean,
it's
oh
it's been
fuck.
rough. I feel like I watched a video today. It was pretty long, and it was like all the interviews with what's his name, Nikolai, and
Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Gwendolyn. And they did almost all of their like promo tour interviews together, and they have great chemistry. And I think if not them both, because Nikolai seems like whatever, but I think Gwendolyn was extremely disappointed that they decided to like end their relationship and send Jamie fucking running back to Cersei. So I think she
Right.
was pretty disappointed as that as well. But someone who
Yeah.
wasn't disappointed, and I'm not surprised, is that after not the final episode, but episode 5, there when there was, like, the backlash was like starting to fucking like get paramount. It was just really had
Yeah.
just got up there. The guy who plays Bran, I honestly don't even know his name, unfortunately.
Isaac
He
Hempstead. Yeah.
Yeah, Isaac. He went to social media just fucking defending the shit out of the show, just being like, "You don't understand." Was he the one who said this isn't?
You don't understand. I got the greatest story, man.
Yeah, right. So
I got the stories going
he's
for
like,
me.
"You guys don't understand that." Hey, did he say this, that it's like it isn't for the fans or something like that? It's art, or something to that
Sure.
effect.
I don't know.
I think he said that. Anyways, but to the effect of, this show's great, you just don't understand. Fuck you guys. And at the time, it was really weird, like, for him to come out like that, and it was just like, whatever. Somebody had to
Right.
snap and defend it because no one else was. Well,
Right.
fucking guess who comes to be the fucking king?
Oh
Fucking
man.
Bran, dude. So it just
Yeah.
makes sense. He was like, no, you guys don't understand. It's great. It's amazing because I'm gonna be the fucking king, and I want you guys to like this shit because I
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
fucking
No, for sure.
more
For sure.
work in Hollywood. Whoa.
I remember. So before the season started, somebody was talking about an interview that they did with him, right? And they asked him like, "What about Bran? You know, he's he's basically a plot device at this point, right?" Like, and then he like kind of like sneakily was like, "Oh, they did something to make it more interesting this season." And like for like the first 5 episodes, I'm like, "What is it? Like, what did you do that was more interesting?"
What is it?
And I was like, dude, this last episode must be all about like Bran going in the past and changing shit. 'Cause I was just
Yeah, like we
how
were
would they make
hoping
it more
for.
yeah. How would they make it more interesting? I was like, oh no, it's just this shit. He's got the best story now. I
He's
see.
got the best story.
He's
I
got the best.
understand.
I get it, Tyrion.
I understand.
He's got the best story.
Can't 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 knock down them stories.
God, dude. Oh man. So whenever I see this kid from now on in like, let's say like and any other acting gig, which he might get, right?
Yeah,
Which
he is
which
in a
is
wheelchair after all.
yeah.
It limits
Holy
him.
shit. Uh, well, I'm sure at some point. I mean, it's not even gonna be a problem, but like if he ever acts again, right? There's just gonna be memes about how he's got the best story in the movie, right? Or in the show or
Hell yeah,
whatever.
dude.
Yeah,
Hit the
yeah,
pizza delivery guys like it's pizza time. You're like that guy had the best story.
yeah. God. Oh man, I'm ready though. All right, that's that's the inside joke for this poor dude. I don't know if it's
Yes.
a worse or better fate than what Joffrey's actor had to go through, where people just hated him. At least if you
Actually
hate him,
hated him.
you can
Jesus.
acknowledge that he's a good actor. He really made people hate him. But like,
Yeah. And speaking of of Isaac and his acting or whatever, it's like he is. I don't know if he's legally blind, but he is very visually impaired. So
yeah,
like
yeah,
so the reason why he has that look in all the scenes where he's staring off is because he can't see shit. That's why he looks so glossy-eyed and like staring past people is because he can't even fucking see them, dude. What a method
yeah.
actor! What an
Dude,
act!
he's method
He
acting
read
the
he
hell out of
read
that
the
one, dude.
season 8 script so many times he went fucking like half blind.
Dude, they were like, your name's Brand the Broken. He's like, oh, dude, I gotta break myself.
He's just
And it's like, no,
reading
he's
it and his fucking eyes
yeah.
are bleeding. He's just like, what? He's like, you
This is
have the greatest
insane.
stories, and he's like, oh.
I do have the greatest stories.
He better have Brand the Broken tattooed on him in the next month.
God,
That's
dude.
the only way he'd be cool in my mind. I'd be like, you know what, Isaac, you're pretty cool, man. You got Brand the Broken. You're in on it now.
He better name his future child Brand the Broken.
Yeah, dude, Brand the Broken.
Brand the Broken. Yeah. Not to mention all the people who named their daughters like Khaleesi or Daenerys.
Yeah.
Everybody name your future child Brand the Broken, like in parentheses, and just make he'll be king, dude. He'll do nothing. He'll have the best story, and he'll be king.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
He's like when, like I saw this on Reddit. It's like when you do nothing in the group project but still get an A. It's fucking Brand.
Oh yeah. I saw that too.
It's fucking Brand.
No, that's exactly it, dude. It's just like not only do you get the A, you get like the best review too from the teacher. You're like, all right,
you get the promotion.
Amazing. Yeah, you get promoted, dude. Just like holy shit. That's exactly what that was. Oh man, poor guy. I think his movie career is ruined because he'll have the best story for the rest of the.
Yeah,
series
how can you? How can you go do something else if you already have the best stories? Like what?
Right,
You've
right.
already reached your pinnacle.
You already have the best. All right. Man, we're memeing so hard.
That's all you can do. Like that's like the coping mechanism for this pain.
Yeah. The only way to realize how much emotion we've invested in this show is just to be like, fuck it. All right, I guess it's just a meme the whole time.
Yeah, it's like whenever you're like dating someone and they like break up and you're like, I didn't really care about you anyways, and you walk away with teary-eyed.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't really care.
Dude, yeah, Game of Thrones, lessons about bad breakups in life, dude.
Yep.
Teaching all those incels like the anime hentai writer guy, what life's all about in reality. All right. So we've got the final show, final season. If I was gonna rate it out of like 10, I would say overall the experience was pretty good. Like 8, 7.5, 8 out of 10.
For this season?
No, not for this season. For all of Game of Thrones.
Oh,
this season it was pretty rough sometimes, man.
So I would describe this show as like as far as a rating is like someone who has test anxiety. Like all year they're just fucking acing homework and assignments and papers and shit, and then they get to the end of the year and the final comes and they fucking get a 0, and it's like so that they're like their A average dropped to a fucking C.
Yeah,
that's how I would describe how I feel. So you have all these like high 90s.
Yeah.
All the way up into season 7 and 8.
It's like that. Yeah, it's like that. It's like if the teacher gave them it was like, all right, you can write a note card for every test, right? And then when it comes to the final, it's like no note cards, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I feel like you went through an entire semester learning like advanced mathematics, and then you get to the very end, and your test like it's just a plate of like spaghetti, and you're like, what? You're like, I don't understand. And your teacher's looking at you, and they're just like, you've got the best stories.
Oh man,
the fucking walls are melting and you're just tripping the fuck out. That's what happened with this shit. It feels like a fever dream.
Yeah, dude.
I don't.
Imagine finishing that class and going on and being like, all right, now you're moving on to the next like most hated franchise or most controversial franchise, Star Wars,
Star
motherfucker.
Wars. Yeah,
Get in
dude.
there.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You fucking kick them on the way out. Just good luck.
Dude, it's gonna be so bad. Like just like not just thinking about general Star Wars sentiment and the sentiment towards the writers here. Like this Star Wars is just gonna be like the ultra flop, you know? Like not even if it's insane, people are gonna like start go in with like really negative.
Exactly, they're gonna be super critical. Like, oh, I can't wait to see how they fuck this one up. Arms crossed, smug face.
Yeah.
All while they're making fucking billions of dollars, and then D&D just laying in a pile of gold, just laughing. You're like, Tyrion's stupid, and they're just like, Bran the Broken. And somewhere on the wall is fucking written in like some kind of postmodern art. It's just gonna be like the fucking best stories on this giant canvas on the wall, hung above the fireplace.
I'm ready for that in Star Wars. Dude, I'm ready for Bran to be like the pilot or the captain of the ship, and he's like, all right, we got the best stories on this ship. Dude.
We got the best stories, baby. We got this. Let's go. Death Star 2.0. So if I was gonna rate it though, honestly, my recency bias is not gonna allow me to give a good review. I think to give a really good one review, I think I need to rewatch the whole series and get an idea from, instead of a decade's worth of watching it, get about a month or two of watching it. And I think I would rate it higher, but as it is with the sour taste I have in my mouth, I would have to give it in the low 8s. Like I think as a whole, I'd probably
low 8s is still higher than what I give.
Yeah, but like.
All right, so like we're both in agreement that like the general sentiment at the end of it all is still just positive, right? You were still able to make
for sure, because like there were 6 seasons of some of the best TV of all time, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah.
So I can't flunk it. I can't be like it's a 4. No, I think it's still like a low, like an 8.1 or 8. I mean, it's teetering on a C. Like those 6 seasons were so damn strong that they're just fucking dragging season 7 and 8 along, kicking and screaming like, I wish you were normal. That's fucking season 7 and 8.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, general sentiment is positive for this podcast, for the SuperMetaPodcast.
For sure.
I think most critics have a generally positive sentiment for the whole show, but I think most viewers are just they're on the negative end.
Yeah, for sure. People who jumped on late too. People who did stuff like that, they see this and they kind of like they get that sour taste and they're just kind of following along.
It's because those people don't have good stories, and we got the best.
Exactly.
Story here on SuperMetaPodcast.
SuperMetaPodcast. Join us, guys, weekly for the best stories, please.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's the new slogan, right? We got the best stories.
We figured it out.
Podcast. All right.
We'll get T-shirts made up, guys. Hit our merch stand.
God, dude. I feel like we would not be the first ones to have. We have the best stories T-shirts.
If not, we'll sue them because we.
Oh yeah. The story's on our side, dude.
They always. Man, I'm glad it's over with though. It's like a fucking Band-Aid on a hairy leg. It's like that shit's gonna hurt when you pull it off, but like fuck, it feels good to finally
I think so. Yeah, I think people are relieved that you don't have to talk about this anymore.
Nope.
Just let it be.
Yep, it is what it is, and now you can just fucking go full hard joke on it. Like, just fucking every time someone mentions Game of Thrones, instead of what would anticipated to be like, oh yeah, I fucking love that show, Team Stark, baby, high five. And now it's just gonna be like, so Game of Thrones, and they're just gonna be like, and then there's just random memes about this shit.
Yeah,
that's what it's gonna be now. It's his legacy is tarnished.
Yeah, I think the spin-offs are really. They're going to be scrutinized for their plot holes a lot more than.
Yeah, they're going to have to go real fucking far away from this to have none of the original stories, none of the original fucking era. I mean, they're going to have to really sever the ties with the shitty ending.
Right. To be fair, I think if George R. R. Martin had been writing some of like the spin-off ideas, which I'm sure he might have, because he probably has a hard time writing the ending of Game of Thrones.
He's very good at writing intricate beginnings of plots and the middles, so maybe he has.
Yeah, I feel like he's gotten some stuff started, and we can you can build off that. You can still get that same like level of like alluring storytelling, not to meme, but like like really to tell a more, how would you say it, more captivating story, less spectacle and more like the human to human
Yeah.
interplay, that sort of thing. I think that's all going to be there for the spinoffs in the early seasons.
And and I think they need to hit a home run with the cast like the original Game of Thrones did too. Like if they can, and are they screwed? Do they screw themselves? Like for the future, are there going to be actors who see these spin-offs and be like, I don't know. I've seen what happened to the other ones.
I think some of the actors, whether Game of Thrones ended well or not, are screwed in terms of mainly the young actors. I think not like okay, Sophie Turner. I think she's among like the Stark children. I think she's the best actor to me. I don't know. What do you think?
The Stark children. So
yeah. So among Arya.
I think Arya would have the most range as an actress, but I think her size is kind of going to limit her on roles. You know what I mean? Because like she can't. She's like, I don't know how tall. You know what? I'll look this up because she's not very tall, so she couldn't play like uh, a mother in a movie or a TV show or anything like that. So like, I don't know.
I don't think they're casting 20-year-olds to play mothers in TV shows or movies these days. So.
Have you seen an American High School?
Not talking about reality shows. I'm not talking about going to the Learning Channel and learning about teen pregnancy. Yeah.
Man, do they not have? So I can't see Maisie's height, but I know she's like super short. So like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think she'll definitely do stuff like some indie shit. But I don't know what she's gonna get done. But I think personally she has the best range. I think she can do funny. I think she can do dramatic. She can do an in between. Like we've seen a lot from her. Fucking what's her name? Who played Sansa?
Sophie Turner.
Yeah, Sophie Turner, dude. I'm surprised you said that because I think she may be. Well, she can't be the worst because we knew that they're definitely worse. But she's not a great actress. Like everyone's already memeing.
Think she's worse than Isaac though?
I was gonna say that, but then I was like, but Isaac's character didn't get a lot of leeway in fucking, being a character.
I know, but like even when he wasn't the three-eyed raven and like gaslighting people into making him king, I feel like his character was just boring. He's like, oh, we're on the run again.
Oh, and then you're forgetting. Why am I forgetting his name? The older brother, the one, they're the
Rob?
two. Yeah, Rob. Rob's actor. He has a.
Rob's actor is pretty good, but I wasn't considering him because I think he was already a pretty qualified actor before.
Okay, so so kid actors. Yeah, I think Maisie would have the best acting potential overall.
Yeah, I guess I agree.
I don't like Sophie. I saw that trailer for her in the new X-Men where it's like she's like what does she say? She's like I'm doing bad things. But it feels so good. It feels so good. I'm like, the writing made it cheesy.
We gotta rank the best quotes coming out of the actors from Game of Thrones. By it's like he's got the best stories, and then the Dark Phoenix quote, somewhere. Holy shit!
I mean, if we're gonna go with quotes within the show, I think our boy the Hound has the best. Absolutely, him and Tyrion have the best quotes. I think.
I mean rank in terms of like meme value, as in
meme value, dude. I'm gonna eat every fucking chicken in here. Is pretty goddamn memey. God, I eat every fucking chicken in here, and I my job, I drink and I know things.
Okay, those are pretty good. Pretty good. I mean.
But has Maisie been in anything else?
I think she had another show where she played like a girl.
She's done some stuff.
Girl or something.
Oh, she was an iBoy. I remember that.
That's it. I think the problem with her is like physically it would be hard for her to get roles.
Oh, and she's in the New Mutants too, coming out in 2020.
Is that the horror movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, see,
that one got pushed back a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's what Wikipedia has expected. So our listeners, you guys still here when that comes out? We'll revisit this about Maisie, how we feel about her. Because she looks like she's.
We'll see if she can save the X-Men franchise.
Look at these. Like I said, independent. She's been doing a bunch of independent stuff. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think she doesn't have the physical. I mean, not to say that she's ugly or anything, but like she just doesn't have the physical.
Yeah, she has like little kids.
Yeah, she doesn't have the physical appearance that like a lot of people would want as their main female role.
Exactly.
Fine, like Sophie
supporting,
so tall, attractive, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's all she has. Because in my opinion, she may be a great person who can end world hunger and do a lot of great things. But as far as an actress goes, to me, she's very stale.
Yeah, she's got a great personality.
She has one trait as an actress that she can pull out when she's acting, and it's always that teary-eyed, angry stare thing she does, where she's just like fucking pursed lips, and she's like her eyes are piercing, and like she's just like they're like watering. That's the only thing she ever does as an actress. That's like if you ever watch anything, she's doing that look constantly. Any movie.
Yeah. You talking about Sophie Turner?
Yeah, Sophie Turner. Yeah. See, Maisie can play like goofy, aloof, fun. We've seen that side of her.
True.
And she can also play the like, the scenes which they decided to move away from in a lot of them. Her very serious, like assassin-y kind of personality was really fucking good. It may have been almost teetering on edgy for some people, but that's just because it's her, and then you got to see her fuck Gendry, so like you're probably like super weird about the situation in general and want to meme about her. But like when she was being very serious in her roles, like when she was sneaking up on John and stuff like that, and talking to people about very serious matters, she's very convincing. And like her dynamic between her and the Hound, fucking amazing. One of the best dynamics in the show.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you've convinced me. You've gaslit me as well as
hell yeah, dude. That's because I got the best stories, baby.
Yeah, dude, you gaslit me like Tyrion, dude. God, dude.
So that's my answer on that one.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. I think generally speaking, when I think about like Jon Snow's actor Kit Harington, right? I like think about what he can be, and I'm just like, I don't think there's anything, dude. Like people see him and be like, all right, it's Jon Snow again.
Yeah,
and
he's
gonna talk about defending the realms of men.
He's just gonna be like, I don't want it. Like every movie, I don't want it.
Exactly, right? Like
she's my queen.
That's with him for life, and Emilia Clarke too. Except for Emilia Clarke is okay because like
she's gonna be great. I think she's a little on the smaller. Yeah, I think she's a little on the smaller side as well. But I think if she gets the right roles, I think she could be a fucking star, dude. And I want to bring this up since you brought this up to me, and I feel amiss I didn't bring it up in our last podcast. But for anyone who wants to look at the actors in general, and you want to figure out about Emilia Clarke and how much she loved the show and bought into her character, go back, watch episode 5 of season 8, the last two. Episode 5, when she's on her dragon, the bells are ringing, right? And she's sitting there on the dragon looking at the Red Keep. I want you to watch the moment right before she takes off on the dragon and watch her do this expression where her eyes individually flicker, like they close individually and kind of roll in her head as if like someone who is mentally unstable to the point of like real aggression. Like she has this look. I promise. Go back, watch it, watch that scene, and to me, that was one of the most convincing things I've seen in acting in a long time. I felt her snap in that moment. Now, overall, as an arc about the reason why she snapped, I didn't agree with it. I thought it was stupid. But as her portraying the emotion, the raw emotion of her snapping and going crazy, that shit sold me. And I promise, if you go back and watch this, you'll see what I'm talking about.
It was
so
acting.
good.
It was method acting. Dude.
Yeah.
It was the writers like just gaslighting her, be like, all right, Emilia, your character's feeling like this today. Just express it like that. She's like, what the fuck, guys? Like, just tell me what happens. Like, we can't do that. Your character's feeling like a little bit pessimistic, but there's a little ray of optimism in her head for like a second, and then oh my god, dude, Drogon just ate the last cheeseburger. Holy shit. Just express that. And she's like confused and angry and perplexed. And mostly it's just anger at, the writers and directors.
Yeah, that's real. What? Whoa, dude. Okay, you blew my mind. Yeah. I bet she was like, you were memeing, but honestly, she might have legitimately be pulling from that anger that she felt for her character having to do what she was about to do for that scene.
It's entirely possible. I think I feel for her because she like you said, she's got such a close connection with
Daenerys for sure.
To the point where she dyed her own hair blonde, right? For the final season because she thought it was going to end well, but she didn't have the best story, and that's the real thing that she should have figured out from the get-go.
That's what we're taking away from this.
Yeah, if you don't have the best fucking story, you should probably stop thinking of yourself as the protagonist of the series.
For sure, you're just a bad guy. Doesn't matter
how many people name their children after you. No, fuck that. You
All right.
know.
So we've seen this. We've talked a little bit about the spinoffs. Like, what do you think? We've talked about the show's legacy, the final episode, how we feel about it.
Yeah.
But going
All
forward,
right.
there are going to be the spinoffs. Where do you think they're going to go?
All right. So right off the top of my head, spinoff one is What's West of Westeros.
Do you think they'll
And
actually have Arya in that? Do you think they'll
I
have
think it might be.
Maisie?
I think she might be like super old. You know, like maybe she's like training faceless
Oh.
people. Like they won't get Maisie. They'll get some old woman, and like this old woman Arya doesn't appear until like maybe like the end of the first season or something.
Oh,
And, like,
dude! But the
you
whole
don't even know
time
it's Arya.
she's actually appearing, but she has other people's faces on, and
Yeah,
it like
yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
it like whips back and shows you that every time whoever the main character is, they've been guided or helped or hurt. It's always been fucking Arya, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I ruined it for you guys.
Yeah, dude, we're the writers now.
We
got
the
best
writers
story.
now.
Yeah, we got the best story, dude.
Yeah, actually. All right, so go ahead. So super old.
My idea though is that like there's like it's like you don't get any time points, right? So like they don't talk about dragons, they don't talk about like when the last dragon was or anything like that. Like nobody has any contextual idea, and like you meet Arya, but you don't know it's her or something like that. You know, like
Okay,
you don't, like,
okay.
they don't
Yeah, I
really
feel
tell
you. They don't give you
right?
any. Yeah, they leave you kind of
Yeah.
cold.
So
Got
it
you.
leaves fans kind of like speculating who this person is as like the first season wraps up.
It's
And
ready.
then by
They'll
this-
know in the first 5 minutes.
No, I for sure they feel like people will just know immediately. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
they'll just that's
Arya.
Arya.
Yeah. So that's one. I think like the historical, like a Targaryen based spin-off prequel is fine. You know, like it would like
That's gonna be like before or right around Robert's Rebellion or right before it.
no, it could be like many years before. You know,
Because
like
that's when the
Aegon
Targaryens showed up,
Conqueror.
right? So are they gonna go all the way back to before the Targaryens came to Westeros?
I don't know, dude. I think whatever has the no meme best story, we'll just get it here, right? Like
Man.
those like it could just be the story of Aegon the Conqueror, right? How he like unified the kingdoms or
Yeah,
whatever.
and he's the one who had the dragon who was like 3 times the size of Drogon, right?
Yeah, he had a massive dragon.
Yeah, his dragon was like fucking like it's the one that burned down Harrenhal, right? Like the greatest keep.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'm
that'd be
not too up to
sweet.
date
That's
with
a lot of
history, but
CGI
it
budget.
it could just be like a lot of because I don't know how much of the story pre Seven Kingdoms is like detailed by George R. R. Martin, but I feel like
Pretty detailed.
you can flesh that out. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
they actually talk about some of the kingdoms south to southeast of Westeros, and there's I can't remember the name. I was really deep into it. I could probably look it up. But it was extremely fucking weird and like heavily magical wherever this area was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Third spinoff is the campy Night King spinoff, where it's like the Night King and Co. And they're like it's
Lord
like a
Jesus.
sitcom. It's a sitcom with all the White Walkers, you know.
That's exactly what we need, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
Seinfeld style, where the Night King comes sliding into the room. He's like, whoosh, it's like Kramer.
Yeah, dude. The Kramer. Everybody loves the Night King. Is the name of the series. Yeah, I mean that's not like that's a meme for now, but I feel like they could do something with the North, like the real north of the wall stuff. I mean that's about all I got. Something with Dorne, sex, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they have Essos and Sotheros are the like real like fleshed out, more of the fleshed out places, with Essos being, the more fleshed out because we spent some time there in the show.
Right. Yeah. I mean they could.
So we know that.
So
Westeros and Essos are separated by the Narrow Sea, but then like they have Southos or Southrios, which is consistent of deserts and jungle. So that'd be pretty good for a show, especially the jungle.
Totally. I mean, at this point, everybody's clenching their assholes. Clench real tight. Hopefully, it's not as bad as how it ended this season. But I think people are just we're all going in with no expectation. Just fuck it.
Just fuck it.
Just fuck it. Man, so what a great season,
Fantastic season, honestly. Yeah,
it's the place where memes were born, and I mean, what lives longer, memes or
dreams?
Or dreams, yeah, right.
Just
Exactly.
memes.
It's memes. I mean, come on, dude. Memes live forever.
Dude, they're so good, dude. Like this one, like Our Boy was dedicated, and it's just a picture of Jamie pushing Bran out, and it's like Jamie's Lannister's king slaying level is so high he tried to kill the king 8 seasons ago.
Holy shit! That's
Fucking,
actually pretty good.
it's
That's
just
pretty good. That's pretty
so
good. Yeah.
good. Like,
I'm prepared for them to try. I mean, and I feel like maybe they set this up, but maybe they didn't. But they might try to answer things like who's the Lord of Light, because that wasn't fucking answered. Who is the prince that was promised, or what that shit's all about? You know, like none of this stuff was
right?
really answered.
We went so hard into that storyline for a long time following uh the Red Witch and like the Baratheon. Was it? Yeah, Baratheon, right? It was Robert's brother. What was his name?
Stannis.
Yeah, Stannis. Like, and you followed this. A fucking little child got burned alive, and for
Yeah.
what? Nothing. Just they were just like, fuck it, like, fuck
Well, I
it,
mean
dude.
that's this idea that like Melisandre was wrong, right? Like she was wrong about who was the supposed prince that was promised, but like it just turned out that the prince that was promised was like nobody, right?
Yeah.
It's just there's I guess maybe and then why isn't Jon Snow dead again? You know, did he fulfill his duty? Who the fuck knows, man?
I don't know. I'm interested to see where people's
It'll be
sentiments are in the
interesting.
future.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna give it time to cool off, just like they're doing with Marvel, right? Give it some time to cool off. After Spider-Man: Homecoming, they're not doing anything, or Far From Home, they're not doing anything for like another year.
Yeah, it's the
I think.
next phase we're stepping into, right? Where like Spider-Man
Right,
is supposed to
right,
take over
right.
Tony
I think
Stark's
I think
role.
I think that's pretty smart. Give people starting to crave that shit again.
That's yeah. You definitely don't want to burn them out because you're fucking pumping out money.
Yeah, yeah,
Which is what Game of Thrones tried to do, but they spent 18 months fucking shitting in a bucket and then threw it in our faces. That's what it feels like.
yeah. And throwing the Starbucks
Yeah, dude.
sponsorships down, dude,
Yeah, dude.
right in
Look,
the middle.
give us more money, sponsorship.
Right.
Speaking of sponsorships, today's
Yeah.
sponsor is still no one.
Yeah.
So
Please, for the love of God, you know, like
please.
if you got any you know just any semblance of money that you want to throw around, you know,
Yeah, we both
go
have
ahead.
facial hair, so like Dollar Shave Club, holla at us.
Yeah. I mean, I got like 2 or 3 like little long hairs on the side of my face that you guys can go for. But I'll promote you. I'll bring my like my
100%.
razors to work and everything. You know, I'll get you know the universities up and all about that Dollar Shave Club. You know,
Yeah,
all
dude.
those kids really want that shit these
That's what they
days.
want. That's
So
what the kids want, dude, for the stories.
yeah, I'll get it for the students. All right. Well, it's been a good hour. I think next week it's going to be a special episode
Yeah, we might
about
have
something
someone
that's
joining
not.
us.
Yeah, it's not going to be about Game of Thrones. It's going to
Nope.
be about the best story, though. You better damn fucking believe it's going to be about the best
Ooh.
fucking story. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's one thing we can deliver on,
There's
the
one
best
thing.
stories.
Yeah. God. All right, that can only be the meme for like a year before it kind of fades into the distance. But
Or is it today?
yeah, it's today actually.
It's today, okay.
We won't have the best story by next week. But fuck, still give us a chance. You know, still give us a chance.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's call it a wrap. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Same time,
For
same
episode
place.
3. Get ready for the best stories. Peace.
Later.